if you're shopping for an SLR that's all mechanical and will probably last forever, then the Nikon F has to be on your short list. It's a historic camera from 1964, and it marks a shift from rangefinders to SLRs. And it also signals the move of the camera industry from Germany to Japan. In this video, I'll show you the usual stuff about how everything feels in the hand, and at the end, I'll tell you about how you can get one of these restored to brand new condition. So the size and weight is the usual big and heavy deal. People always say that the Nikon F is built like a tank and you can hammer nails with it, and that sort of thing makes me roll my eyes a little bit when people say that on the internet, but it's pretty true. It's a very rugged and durable camera. The shutter is a lot more reliable than a Leica, even though they're basically the same design. I don't know how that happened, but there you go. The viewfinder is pretty bright. Even though this is just a 3.5, it's only a little bit darker than the Pentax Spotmatic, which has a f2.5 lens on it. So it's a nice and bright viewfinder for its age. It has a split prism focusing spot in the middle, and it helps you get the focus right on. And the viewfinders are interchangeable on the Nikon F. The eye level finders are kind of hard to find in good condition. Basically, like I would say 90% of them have desilvering spots in the finder or a line of separation. I looked for one that didn't have any of those problems, and it took 2 years or so to get one in good condition at a reasonable price. So it might be a good idea to get one of the bulkier metered finders if you want a clear view. To remove the finder, you have to push this button. Later models had a little slot on either side of the button, so it's easier to press with your thumbnail, but this one comes off if you press really hard. The shutter is very smooth because it's completely mechanical. There's no half pressed little position in the middle, so it goes all the way down very smoothly. The shutter itself has a very compact, clean sound to it, and it has a little bit of a ping at the end of it. It's very quiet. It's nowhere near as metallic as the Canon UF one I showed you before. And the film advance lever has a smooth advance and a ratcheted return. It has a standoff position, like there. One of the things you might notice right off the bat is that the lever is really wiggly. It's not the firmest, most solid feeling advanced lever, but I mean, you don't really notice it. You don't really pay attention to it when you're taking photos. The shutter speed. The shutter speed button. People always complain about it being on the back of the camera instead of the front. I don't really notice that either. It sort of comes to feel natural after a while. If it was in the front of the body, you would have to sort of put your finger above this big and chunky frame counter, and I think it really does work better with it being on the back. Anyhow, the shutter speed dial, it's a nice, smooth, solid dial with crisp detents. You have to notice that the dial does go all the way around and around and around. So if that's something that annoys you, then maybe you shouldn't get this camera. And it has a collar around the shutter speed dial that you pull up on, and then you can change the flash sync mode. It's sort of not the nicest feeling shutter button collar thing, but whatever. After that, we've got this nice film rewind crank. It has a little standoff point right there. It's very firm feeling, and when you spin it, it has like a squeaky, rubbery sound to it. Might be too quiet to pick up, but there you go. Like a rubbery sound, but whatever. This doesn't pull up because you have to take off the hole back instead of the door flipping out. So it goes like that. When you put this on, it's not exactly like the firmest fitting back there is. It sort of makes sounds when you grab the camera. But you don't have to worry about light leaks, even though it makes that sort of rattly sound. The film type reminder dial is kind of hard to turn, and the detents aren't very crisp. You can't really feel it or hear it that well, but it's okay, I guess. It won't be knocked out of position, that's for sure. And after that, the lens. The lenses, they're smooth, kind of dry feeling, and light. It's not heavily dampened like a Pentax Takumar. The aperture ring, it's also pretty light. The detents aren't very crisp and firm. It can sort of get knocked off position easily, and it has sort of a clacky sound to it. But people always say that the Nikon lenses had a whole lot of metal in them, and they're very reliable and durable. I do like the aperture preview lever. It's at a very convenient, comfortable place. There's no locking position, so you can't just press it and stop down the lens. You have to hold it down all the time. And I really like how the lens release button is on the left side. You sort of grip it like that, and then take off the lens just like that. I wish all cameras had a lens release button right there. And I forgot. To lock up the mirror, you have to turn this little switch, and then you sort of have to waste a frame. Oh, yeah, never mind. The shutter was set to 1 second. So, you have to waste a frame to get the mirror locked up. That's one advantage of the F2. If you do a lot of mirror lockup, you should probably get F2. So, stays up like that. And to bring it back down, take another photo. And anyhow, so I think the Nikon F is definitely one of the most classic SLR designs out there. It was designed by the chief engineer Fuketa Masahiko, and the industrial design was by the famous graphic designer Kamekura Yusaku. They made one of the most beautiful designs for an SLR, I think. And if you want something really reliable and doesn't have any electronics that can die, then the Nikon F should be one of the top choices on your shopping list. And if you want to restore one of these, you have a couple different options. You can either get it CLA'd and completely repainted by Kanto Camera. That's about $800. But if you want to keep the plate silver chrome, you can shop on eBay for new old stock plates. That's what I did. You can get these for $10, $20, something like that. And there's a guy on Instagram who helps people restore their Nikons. I'll put his link in the description. But I just saved searches on eBay and got them myself. You can get the black trim repainted at Kanto or by Masa. Masa charges $300, about $300. So that's not what I'm going to do. It would be nice if somebody out there restored silver chrome, but that hasn't happened yet. So getting new old stock plates is pretty much your only option if you want to keep it silver chrome. So anyhow, I love this camera. I wish I could use it more often. I use other cameras way more often, but it's a really classic, fun to use camera. And if you have any questions about it, just ask in the comments. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a good week.